The first time I saw Pastor Emmanuel under the street light, I thought I was dreaming. It was him, but it wasn't him. He wasn't wearing his cassock or his usual solemn face. Instead, he had on tight jeans and a bright shirt that shimmered under the wick bulb. He stood close to another man, their faces just inches apart. Then he kissed him. It was real, and my breath caught in my throat. The church was his kingdom. Pastor Emmanuel was the man everyone trusted. His sermons were fairy, his prayers powerful. People said he could cast out demons and bring blessings into barren homes. But that night, the man I saw wasn't the man I thought I knew. I didn't stay to see more. I turned and ran, my heart pounding louder than my footsteps on the dirt road. When I got home, I bolted the door and sat in the dark, trying to make sense of it. Morning came too soon, and with it, another Sunday service. I thought about skipping, but Mama would ask so many questions, so I went. Pastor Emmanuel stood by the pulpit, as strong and commanding as ever. "Beware the sins of the flesh," he thundered, his voice echoing through the packed church. "For they will lead you to destruction." The church cheered, but I felt sick. Days turned into weeks, and I tried to bury the memory. But the image of that kiss haunted me. I stopped going to the evening service. I avoided the church whenever I could. Yet, no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't shake the feeling that something else was happening. One night, I saw him again. It was late, and I was coming back from the well. The town was quiet except for the sound of crickets. I noticed him leaving his house, dressed in the same flashy clothes. He moved quickly, like he didn't want to be seen. I followed him. He walked through the market, past the stalks, and into a narrow path that led to the next village. My heart was racing, but I kept my distance. Eventually, he stopped at an old building I'd never noticed before. Music spilled out from inside, soft and strange, unlike anything I've heard. Pastor Emmanuel glanced over his shoulder, and I ducked behind a tree. He didn't see me. He knocked on the door, and someone let him in. I crept closer, my curiosity burning. The window was open, and I peered inside. What I saw made my blood run cold. The room was dimly lit, filled with people laughing and drinking. Men were holding hands, dancing in a way that would shock the town. Pastor Emmanuel was in the middle of it all, smiling and relaxed in a way I'd never seen before. But then, a man I didn't recognize approached him, whispering something in his ear. Pastor Emmanuel's face changed. He looked nervous, almost scared. The man handed him an envelope, and Pastor Emmanuel tucked it into his pocket before stepping out of the room. And so, I moved back quickly, hiding behind the wall as he passed by. His footsteps faded into the night, but I stayed frozen in a place. Something wasn't right. It wasn't just a secret. It was the envelope, the look on his face, the way he left in a hurry. And for the first time, I wondered if Pastor Emmanuel wasn't just hiding from the church. Maybe he was running from something else, or someone.
If you're enjoying the story, don't forget to subscribe and follow us on all social media platforms. Storytime with Shine. Let's continue.
The next morning, I couldn't keep it to myself any longer. I told my best friend Samuel what I had seen. "He's living a lie," I said. "How could he preach against what he does in secret?" Samuel frowned.
"It's not our place to judge. You know that."
"But isn't it hypocrisy?"
"Maybe,"
Samuel said. "But think about what he's hiding. It must be terrifying to live a life where you can't be yourself, especially when people look up to you like a saint.
Maybe he's scared.
That thought stayed with me. Days later, a scandal erupted in the church. A few people had seen Pastor Emmanuel at the same place I had, rumors spreading like wildfire, and by Sunday, the church was buzzing. Pastor Emmanuel stood at the pulpit, his face pale but composed. I have sinned, he said, his voice trembling. But I've also lived in fear of being rejected, fear of being hated. I have preached against what I've secretly struggled with for years. The congregation was silent. Some whispered, others walked out. I stayed, riveted by the raw honesty in his voice. I am not proud of my deception, he continued. But I want to tell you this. God does not abandon us because we struggle. He sees our pain, our confusion, and still He loves us. I'm stepping down from this role because I need to find peace with myself and with God. The church was never the same after that day. Some members left, whilst others stayed, determined to understand and extend grace. As for me, I began to question not just what I believed, but how I practiced it. Was faith about condemning others or understanding their pain? Was it about perfection or forgiveness? As young Christians, it's easy to see faith as a set of rigid rules. True faith demands compassion, honesty, and humility. The life of Pastor Emmanuel teaches us that hiding who we are only leads to pain and hypocrisy. While we strive for righteousness, we must also strive to create spaces where people feel safe to be vulnerable. Before judging others, remember this: the greatest commandment is love. Love for God, for others, and for ourselves. Christianity isn't about being perfect. It's about seeking truth, offering grace, and walking with others in their struggle as Christ walked with us in ours. Until I see your face, until I overflow, my worship will not stop, my prayer will not end. Until I see your face, until I overflow, my worship will not stop, my prayer will not end.